If the 14 Senate Democrats do not come home, their local communities will be forced to manage these reductions in aid without the benefit of the tools provided in the repair bill. On the other hand, if the Senate Democrats do come home, local units of government overall will actually see a net increase in revenue plus savings of more than $150 million.
Representative Mason, if the Democratic senators come home, they will see an increase in funding in their localities. What's your response to the governor's position on that?
Well, my first response is if he calls taking away people's rights a tool one more time, I think there's a lot of people who are going to lose it here. He's been talking about taking away people's rights for the last few weeks here and insulting everyone by calling that giving local government a tool. Look, the workers have said repeatedly they're willing to make concessions, but they need to do it at the bargaining table. So if the governor wants to accomplish the goal that he's laid out in his budget, he needs to do right by these workers who've enjoyed these rights for more than 50 years and let them keep their bargaining rights. It's time for the governor to show a little bit of leadership. He hasn't moved one iota from his position. The Democrats have made tons of concessions. The workers have made tons of concessions, but we're not going to give up on our rights. It's time for the governor to be reasonable.
Senator Grothman, you mentioned a recall movement possibly against a Democratic senator, but you saw that there is this recall telephone campaign that's starting against 5 Republican senators in Wisconsin. We have a Wisconsin poll showing that 57% of Wisconsin thinks that the public worker unions should be able to retain their collective bargaining rights. Isn't the threat of recall, given that poll, something that the Republicans on your side of the aisle have to fear more than Democrats?
Oh, no, absolutely not. First of all, the public is not yet aware. Under Governor Walker's plan, the workers in the state of Wisconsin will have more collective bargaining rights than any federal employee. People are not aware what collective bargaining means. Right now, under Governor
federal
Walker's
employees don't
plan,
have collective bargaining rights. Of course it's more rights.
That's exactly
You're comparing something
right.
to nothing.
That's exactly right. And it is not horrible to be a federal employee. In the state of Wisconsin, you retain collective bargaining rights over your salary up to the rate of inflation. So you are putting state employees in a better position than federal employees.
But if there's big cuts to come down to the budget, those workers have to take those concessions at the table. That's not real bargaining. That's not bargaining in good faith. That's disingenuous, and you know it.
As the more people understand, the more people realize what a good deal government employees in the state of Wisconsin will have even after Governor Walker's mini budget passes. They will still be in a better position.
Senator, I think the more people understand that this governor is taking away their rights as a ruse to balance the budget, the more we're going to see people here day after day, and that's why this governor's been trying to keep people out of this building all day.
Senator Grothman, your response?
Well, we're trying to keep some people out of the building because right now the building's becoming a pigsty. People are staying overnight. The building smells. We used to have nice little groups of 4th grade children walking through the building. There was something called the Senate Scholar programs in which high school kids could track us around. All that's being shut down by a bunch of slobs taking up the building. We can no longer continue to have all these slobs in the building.
Well, Senator Grothman, some of the slobs in the building are elementary school students who may be learning something more interesting or valuable or real about government that's going on there, don't you think?
No, it would be embarrassing to me to take my child through that building today.
Corey Mason, get the last word on this segment.
I've had my kids here the last couple of weeks. I am proud to see them witness this great moment in democracy. And these slobs that you're referring to are police officers and nurses and firefighters and people who keep us safe. You got to be ashamed of yourself. Yes, they are. Come on in and look.
If you stop and talk to who's there, I do talk to them all the time. The people who are inside the building are college students who are having a fun party. That's largely who's in the building overnight. And if you get up early, Corey, and talk to who's in the building at 7 a.m., you will find it is largely college students and hangers-on having a party in the state capitol.
Senator Grothman, before we go, I just want to get one clarification from you about the crowds. Are you saying that all of the protesters there are slobs?
No, of course not. But the people who are staying overnight are largely making a mess of our Capitol. That's what you're addressing. Why are we keeping people out of the building? Because we do not want to have so many people there overnight defacing our beautiful Capitol.
But you would agree with Corey Mason that many of the protesters are, in fact, police officers, firefighters, other state workers who you would never call slobs, right?
A very small percentage. I think if you would interview all the people who are creating a ruckus, the vast majority who are here today are not police officers or nurses. They are either college T.A.s, college students, or hangers-on, or unemployed people just looking for somewhere to hang out.